Welcome to our Annapolis. I'm Alderwoman Sheila Finlayson, here with our police chief, Michael Pristoop. We have had a number of community meetings, and we will continue to have community meetings to bridge any gaps that we see in our community. It is important that we work with our police department to make sure that everyone's needs are met. So, Chief, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Alderwoman Finlayson.
And tell us a little bit about the efforts in the department to reach into the community and develop stronger community ties and relationships.
Sure. Well, as you're aware, traditionally people view police and public safety and what the officers do as enforcers. And, for many years, officers had, that responsibility. We would get out of the car, we would address crime problems, and as we continued in our pursuit of public safety, we've realized for many years that we have to not only be proactive in that traditional way, solving crime, preventing crime, but also involving the community to build community trust, to have a better understanding from the community to us and from us to the community, and to be able to address problems as they evolve. So having conversations with the community is something that we always want to do and something that we frequently do. Having larger forums, as we plan to do on March 10th again for the second time, and certainly talk about that, is, I think, a broader and better way to get us more involved with the community, to identify problems, to be proactive, and to have these successes and also address the difficulties that we have.
Well, you mentioned that this is the second meeting. There was a meeting, I guess, at the end of 2014. At a local church. Can you tell us about that meeting and what was expected and the outcome?
It was a very timely meeting. It was in September of last year. It followed the events in Ferguson, but it wasn't something that we wanted to have simply because there were national crises and there were problems abroad. And we wanted, and you and I, and we've talked, and I've talked with the mayor and politicians in the community for quite a while before that event, to suggest that we need to find broader and better ways to pinpoint and narrow issues that we want to address as police. So that meeting was, I wanted to say, the icing on the cake, but a very important forum to get people from every community in Annapolis. And there were clergy, and there were people from outside of Annapolis that came in there and expressed points that we didn't know. And we were able at that meeting to tell folks that we offer this, we do this, here's what we're doing better because we hear you. Here is our social media approach. Here are the programs and the things we're trying to do. What do you need from us? What do you not know? And I found that exchange to be extremely beneficial. So we want to continue to do that.
And that meeting was held at First Baptist Church.
Yes.
Back in September, you said?
That's true. And one thing I felt very important to do was to move these meetings to venues throughout Annapolis at intervals where people can understand that, and many people walk to the meetings, but they can understand that there's a definite date and time where they can join us at a place close to them, not the police department, but a decentralized location that's very convenient and also really promotes more people to show up.
Well, now, that was the first meeting. The second meeting is going to be held next month. And so do you want to tell us a little bit about where and exactly when to attend that meeting?
Thank you. And there is another meeting, and there'll be more meetings as we go down the road. And this next meeting is March the 10th at 6:30 at the United Methodist Church in Eastport. And, we picked Eastport as we're going to pick parole, as we're going to return back to the central part of the city. But we picked Eastport because we understand that Eastport has the same concerns and also as well different concerns from other parts of the city. There are a lot of people in Eastport that we're working with every day in different meetings and in different forums, but we feel that this can become a broad meeting for the community in different areas of Eastport to walk to one spot at the church, sit in front of us, and express their concerns and listen to us and find ways to help resolve problems that are really concerning people.
As chairperson of the Public Safety Committee, I think it's important for the community to feel as if they have access. And I think the series of meetings that you're planning will give the community that opportunity. So they can actually come to the meeting and share with you their joys and their disappointments, let's say, so that we can all work together to make sure that if there are issues, they're resolved ahead of time. So how do we get people to attend the meeting? It's on the 10th of March at Eastport Methodist at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock?
6:30.
At 6:30. The entire Annapolis community is invited, and particularly the Eastport community. And that's why these meetings are going to be moved around
Out of
from ward
convenience,
to ward.
out of convenience for people.
Convenience.
Well, you know, it's a great question. I just want to go back and say that it's not the meetings all the time, that we don't want the meetings to be the only focal place for people to vent concerns. We have continuing interaction on our social media networks. We have 18,000 followers between our Twitter and our Facebook account. We are constantly handling calls. We are at community meetings everywhere in Annapolis, and we're delighted to speak to any community about any concern at any time. But having a broadcast meeting, a larger meeting, within several months of another and then another one, I think what this tends to do is it gives people an opportunity to go beyond the one or two concerns that are stressing the neighborhood, or it gives them an opportunity to ask us, what are you doing in general about something? And what is your approach, and how this can be improved. So we're doing our best, one, again, using our 18,000 followers with our social media, asking the city to put this information out, and we put out press releases. I have officers telling people directly in communities that we're having these meetings. Now, I'm making phone calls to talk to some of our friends in churches and other community groups and organizations to make sure that everybody's aware of it. So we're hopeful that everybody who wants to be there will be there, and we really want a lot of people to show up.
And people can come just to listen. They don't have to come because they have issues or problems. But I think there's great value in hearing what others are thinking.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes I may think there's a problem or not think there's a problem, and hear two or three other people express the same concern. Then we realize that it is a problem.
Exactly.
Or a strength. And so I think there's great value in anyone who's interested in having a little chat with the police chief, and others from the department, I assume, will be there.
Certainly.
To have to begin to develop the relationship that we want all of our residents to feel they have.
And to really improve relationships, because I think, you know, certainly since I have been the chief for getting close to 7 years now, I think we've certainly put our best foot forward to build stronger relationships with the community. But I think that there's a lot of work to be done. I think that some people are very satisfied and are happy to know that crime went down 60% in violence. They're happy to know that overall crime is close to 50% down. But that doesn't touch the personal aspects of police-community relations and the need to continue to build trust. So I think there's a fine line, as you mentioned, between being proactive and reactive. And if we hear and react to a situation that we're not aware of, we can then be proactive going forward into avoiding those particular problems that are bothering people or helpful.
And our community is constantly changing. So the fact that we have these ongoing meetings hopefully will reach the people who are just coming into our community also, and begin to develop a strong relationship with the new folks.
Very, very true. Listen, I've just recently been to more than one meeting where people were amazed to know that we had ride-along Thursdays. We are starting Coffee with a Cop, where officers once a month will be at stores and businesses to speak with people. Amazed that we have a Citizens Police Academy. We're trying our best using our resources to get this information out. We have juvenile diversion programs. We have auxiliary police. We have explorers. Not everybody's aware of this. So this meeting gives us yet another opportunity to tell people what their police department is doing and what we can continue to do and do better sometimes.
So you've just mentioned a litany of not new, but programs that the community is probably not aware of. And so we invite everyone to come out on March the 10th at 6:30.
6:30.
To this meeting, and to have an opportunity to have an exchange with our police chief, but also to learn about the many other programs that are available. You know, our community is only as safe as we make it. And working together, we can all be assured that we have a wonderful quality of life living here in Annapolis. So, Chief, is there anything else you'd like to add before we end today?
I think we summed it up, but I think that there's a lot of work to be done, and I think that if anybody has other concerns that are particular to crime, more than just community police relationships, we invite that. We invite any questions or any concerns that happen, and we certainly will try our best to do our best to help.
Well, thank you, Chief. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to interview you. And for our listening audience, again, that meeting is March the 10th at 6:30 at Eastport Methodist on Bay Ridge Avenue. All are welcome. Come to listen, come to participate, just come out and join us. So again, this is Alderwoman Sheila Finlayson. Thank you for watching.